Hey everybody, it's Veronica. Today we'll be talking about narcissistic abuse from mothers. Um, this can apply to both parents, both sexes, mom or dad, but I want to focus on mothers because this is a common theme as far as mothers go because most people are raised by their moms. There is no autonomy between the parent and the child. So basically you are an extension to them, and also if they are not benefiting from you in any kind of way, if they are not benefiting from you, you will be treated as if they do not love you. You will be treated as if you are not their child. You will be treated like you are insignificant. So first I want to start off with the fact that most narcissistic parents are very, very selfish and self-centered. Um, they put their needs first. They definitely put their needs before their child. Um, they definitely don't think of their child first. They don't. The child is not the first thing like they think of. You know, you would think that a parent would think of their child first before they do certain things. However, that's not the case. Nothing you do is right. And if you do something right, it's usually met with a sarcastic remark. It's very, they have a disdain in their voice when they are like kind of congratulating you or giving you credit when it's due. It's very, very hard to basically get positive recognition from them because they are threatened by your independence, and they're threatened by the fact that you have your own personality. You don't want to be an extension of them. You want to be your own self. Another thing that goes on is like a lot of manipulation. With the manipulation, they do things like tick you off emotionally. They will emotionally manipulate you. Um, Most parents know what triggers their child. Most parents know what makes their child upset, and they know how to get an emotional react. You know, if they had to, they would know how to get an emotional reaction from their child. So with most narcissistic parents, they definitely know how to push your buttons, and they will, just to get an emotional reaction out of you. And as soon as they get that emotional reaction out of you, that is when, so they'll gaslight you too. So right after they're done the emotional manipulation, that's when they start gaslighting you and making you feel like you have no right to feel the way you feel because, you know, it's not that big a deal. Like you're feeling, you are very insignificant, and your feelings are very insignificant to them. Another thing they'll do is compare you to either your peers, or they'll compare you, if you have siblings, they'll compare you to your siblings. And this comes out in a way where as though they'll compare you to the golden child. Who the golden child is, most of you, if you have siblings and you know you live with a narcissistic parent, you know exactly who the golden child is because they get all the treatment, they get all the praise. You know, the parent basically compares everything you do to them. If you can't do nothing right, or if it's not that you can't do nothing right, it's more so like you aren't doing it as good as your sibling. And the golden child, your boundaries are, they don't exist when you live with a narcissistic parent. They do walk into your room whenever they want. You know, they do whatever they want. They touch your things. In some cases, they do touch your money. Like they will steal money from you. Also, there's a lot of shame that comes with living with a narcissistic parent. They make you feel guilty for a lot of things, especially like a lot of the decisions that you make for yourself. Especially if you're old enough to make those decisions, they make you feel guilty for them because they're not their decisions. Like you didn't listen to what they wanted you to do, or you didn't do what they wanted you to do. So they try to guilt trip you and make you feel bad for doing what makes you happy, because again, they are threatened by your independence, and they definitely are jealous of the fact that you are your own person and you have your own personality. You know what I mean? You have your own things going on. So what they'll do is make you feel guilty for, wanting to be your own person and wanting to do your own thing. They can be super, super immature. Like, you could have an issue with them, you could just bring something up that bothers you to them, and they'll totally disregard what you're saying. They won't even be listening to it. You know what I mean? They will definitely try to turn it around on you and blame you. And they'll definitely try to undermine what you're saying as if it's not that important. And yeah, that goes along with manipulation, because sometimes sometimes the conversation can get so bad because they are not listening. Like, it's as if you're talking to a brick wall and your parent is literally not listening or caring about anything you have to say to them as far as your emotional needs and your concerns, stuff like that. You'll definitely get the silent treatment. And I think this is very, 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 very damaging to a child, because you're looking to your parent to provide for you, and you're looking to your parent to fulfill your emotional needs and not the other way around. So when they aren't getting their way, they'll give you the silent treatment. And I feel like that's very, very damaging, because who wants to be treated like that by their parent? You know what I mean? Who wants to feel insignificant to their parent? Like, that's very harmful to your child. They'll start an argument out of thin air. You know what I mean? They'll try to blame you for anything, like stuff that you aren't even guilty of doing. They'll try to blame it on you just because they're having a bad day. And this really doesn't just apply to a bad day either. Sometimes, like, they're so they also do this thing called parentifying. When a parent sees that they assume that you're old enough to take care of yourself. Like, say if you're like between the ages of 16 and 18, and then they basically release all their parental responsibilities onto you, and basically you have to parent yourself. So in some households, people turn 18 and get kicked right out of the house, or they get a job, and as soon as they get the job, the parent basically tells them, you are fending for yourself from this point on. Yes, you do teach your child responsibilities. However, if you know your child does not have the capacity to take care of themselves, or they don't have the capacity to basically fend for themselves, it's very, very, very selfish, and that's not normal. Let me just say that right there. That's not normal. There's nothing normal about waiting until your child is 18 to kick them out the house. You know what I mean? Like, your child doesn't have the capacity to take care of themselves. That's just weird. If they do a favor for you, or they do something for you, like if they have to go out of their way, especially if it's not benefiting them, they definitely will make sure that they let you know it is a burden to them. It is a burden to go out of their way for you. And they definitely will make you feel guilty. Like, they'll make you feel bad for asking them to do something for you. Like, who wants to feel bad because their parent doesn't want to do them a favor? Or it don't even have to be doing a favor. It's like, they really try to make you, if you're not on your hands and knees thanking them, like, just for doing simple things that a parent should do, they will definitely go out of their way to make you feel bad for not doing exactly that. Like, it's that crazy. Like, it's so crazy. They want to be congratulated for doing simple things that a parent should be doing. You get what I'm saying? It's crazy. One thing I do want to leave you guys with, especially if you are a teenager or an an adult that's trying to get out of this type of environment, because it is very hard. It's so hard because even as an adult, even if you're older than 18 and you're capable of living, you're capable of taking care of yourself, it's just hard to get out of that situation because, again, like I said, you are an extension to them, and they will find every way possible to get in the way of any type of success that you will have. So even when, even in some cases where you are trying to get out of you trying to get out of there, they'll try to do things like steal money or ask you for money, just little stuff, little petty things like that, to basically stop, get in the way of you bettering yourself, or doing better for yourself. So what I will say for those who are in this type of environment and are trying to get out, narcissistic parents are very emotionally draining. Like you will find yourself being very drained from being around them. Like, but it's crazy, but still, like, if you really, 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 really want to get out, save as much money as you can. Like, save as much money as you can so you can move out. Another thing I would say is be selective and careful about what you share with them, because a lot of times what you share with them can definitely be used against you, because, again, if you are not benefiting them in any kind of way, especially because they think of you as an extension of them, they will definitely get in the way of any of your success. They will definitely get in the way of anything you got going on. So, or they'll definitely try to undermine it and make you feel inadequate in some kind of way. So definitely be careful about what you share with them, especially when it's money concerned. If you're trying to move, don't really let them know that you're trying to move until you got that money saved up and you got the apartment found, stuff like that. Like, unless you can do that, unless you're there. I'm not gonna say that. Unless you are there at that point, do not let them know that you are trying to move, because they'll find any way. They'll even try to guilt trip you into staying. Like, it's that bad. They'll try to find any way to basically get in the way of you moving forward as an adult and, gaining some type of independence away from them. Another thing I would say, when you move far. Do not stay close to them. You want to create some type of distance between them to let them know that you have your own life, your own personality, your own identity. You are your own person, and they need to give you your space. They'll try to pop up at your house, guilt trip you into moving back with them. You want to create as much distance as possible between you and the narcissistic parent. I know that's hard to say because that's your parent. I mean, I know that's hard to do because that is your parent, and it sounds a little harsh, but your health is more important at the end of the day. And I would hate for somebody to really be. I wouldn't wish that on nobody. I wouldn't wish that on anybody, because that's still your parent at the end of the day, and you need your parent. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, who wants to feel like a victim to their parent? That is the worst thing you could ever, that's the worst. Who wants to feel like that? Who wants to feel like a burden to their parent if the parent is not benefiting from them? It's so heartbreaking, because you will really be treated like a nobody if they are not benefiting from you. You won't be treated like a child. You won't be treated like you are their child. Do whatever you can to create some type of distance between you and them, so that they can understand you are your own person. You know what I mean? You have to establish some type of boundaries between you and them. So, I hope you guys liked the video. Please like, share, and subscribe. More importantly, just share. If you know somebody that could be in this type of environment, or somebody that could be in this type of predicament, please share this with them so that they know.